Personal development of our students is absolutely key to what we do here at the Regis School. We're ambitious for their future, and so we completely understand that's about getting the best academic outcomes for them, but also ensuring they're leaving us with all the skills they're going to need to thrive in the adult world. We use the Aspirations data in lots of different ways at school, so right from tutor level, so they can get to know their 30 students inside and out, but also as a strategic level. So for example, this year, the students, and we do get a lot of participation in this survey, over 1,000 young people take part. They've told us that they would like to improve their communication skills. So as a result, as a senior team, we have very much decided that oracy needs to be one of our whole school priorities.
In our aspirations surveys, we wanted to ask the school to do more charity events. So what they did, they set up this fundraiser named the Walk for Change, where we would walk a few kilometers in order to raise money for charity. Honestly, being part of a team, I really developed that skill. Also, I developed endurance as well because the walk was pretty tough. I really felt like I did contribute to a bigger cause as well.
So our teachers realised in the data that they were provided from the Aspiration surveys that the students wanted to have more opportunities in fitness and also charity events. So therefore we were able to participate in the Fitness Hub on Fridays, which was only organised for Year 9s for our year group last year to prepare for that event.
Through the Aspiration surveys, we expressed how we wanted to build some performing arts, such as singing, dancing and acting through the school. Our teachers took a look at this and they said, how could we deal this out? This ended up with us having many things such as more bigger school performances, sing songs with other schools in the community. Through those activities, I feel like I've developed confidence to a greater level, teamwork and communication as you are working with people that you might not work with before, and that's all due to the survey.
The Aspirations data has been really useful for us to find out things about our form that we might not have the opportunity to find out without them. So for example, I found out a lot about how my students' sleeping habits are and that they're not getting enough sleep. So we've built in some night routines for them and things that can set them up for a better day at school. And then we've also found out about their healthy eating, so we've implemented that into our form time. And it's allowed us to have kind of group conversations about how we're feeling, how we're eating, how we're sleeping, but also have those one-to-one conversations with the students.
We have a number of ways that we help our students thrive outside of their curriculum and their academics in the taught classroom setting. So I guess that would start with our Regis 10 values, which have been mutually agreed by staff and students here at the school. And with values such as belief, creativity, resilience, respect, all of these can then form the foundation for everything else we do to develop our students' wider character. So we have the traditional after-school clubs, but we also have enrichment days in the summer term. And perhaps one of the areas we're most proud of are all the many opportunities for student leadership. And I am talking in their hundreds. So we have 170 sports leaders, nearly 100 rights-respecting ambassadors, well-being prefects. So it's just become very typical and very normal to be a leader at the Regis School, which we hope means that our students will be able to go into the world with the belief that they can be the leaders of the future.
So one of the first things we did last year, we used the Aspirations data to pick our clubs as well, because actually it's really important that for those students who maybe didn't interact in clubs, we use that data to try and ascertain what they didn't have and what they didn't have access to. So the last thing is sort of about how confident students are, and I think clubs are massive for that. Clubs build the sort of vocational skills, those other skills which we can't develop as much as we'd like in lessons. They develop their confidence, their self-esteem, their communication, their oracy, and all of these feed back in. On top of that, it's really important to build relationships with staff, so staff get to know those students, and actually that even helps at the end. So I know last year I was a Year 11 teacher, and from some of my experience with extracurricular, those students who maybe found it a bit harder, I could engage with them, and they came back in and they did that extra work, and that really showed in their own results. So clubs doesn't just help develop the student, it helps develop those relationships and gets teachers to know them outside the classroom, which is so important for everything we do.
I go to art club, crochet club, and I do rehearsal in the school production. It's a way to showcase what you're best at and for others to know who you are in the best way possible. Before I was very confident, but I never got to showcase my work and let people know who I was in an academic point of view and what my talents were. And ever since joining the Regis School and doing all these clubs, it's really helped to showcase who I am and who I am for the future.
The clubs I go to are netball, rights respecting, and I do the school production as well. My favourite things about those clubs is they help me to develop my teamwork and social relationships with people. They've definitely improved my confidence because with netball you have to meet random people and play against them while people are watching, and that can be a bit embarrassing sometimes, and especially with the production, having to dance and speak and sing in front of people, but it's definitely made my life a lot better.
We have used the tutors a lot more this year, where they have used the data that's been collected to have one-to-one conversations with their tutors. This data can focus on things such as careers, aspirations, and how they're getting on with their emotional well-being, and it gives them a talking point throughout the year to have those conversations with the students. The plan was then created based on what the feedback looked like. So we focused mainly on the fitness element. So we offered Wellbeing Wednesdays, where students would get tutor time in the mornings to wander around outside and mingle with the rest of the year group. And we also offered fitness challenges throughout the year, and on a Friday after school we'd have the whole year group were able to use the gym facilities just for themselves to try and increase their fitness over the year, so that they could then build their stamina and endurance to be able to complete the Walk for Change, which took place later on. The tutors have then used that information to be able to report back to myself as the Director of Year and the Head of Year with any concerns that they've got, and to be able to have, again, those conversations throughout the year, but also with parents, so they can make contact home with concerns. It's also been really useful for the options process, where they've been able to discuss different areas that they're interested in. We've brought in guest speakers based on the feedback that they've given us in certain career paths, and that has really helped structure their options process moving forwards.
The unique thing about the Aspirations survey is the meaningful data it gives us about what's really important to students and what they really value, and this has helped us to shape our personal development in a way that we perhaps couldn't have done without the information that it provides. So, for example, it's been hugely positive in the impact it's enabled us to have on increasing the breadth and depth of our extracurricular offer. It's enabled us to deepen our careers provision, building what we already do, by bringing in inspirational speakers, really targeting those aspirations that young people tell us that they have about their future careers. So what's particularly exciting is more students accessing direct leadership opportunities, such as the 150 sports leaders or the 98 rights respecting ambassadors that we currently have that are active. I think, but within this, perhaps the most significant is removing any perceived barriers, developing their skills, and really empowering them with the belief that they can be the leaders of the future.
So I think our next steps for the Aspirations programme are really going to be continuing to work with tutors and drilling down to the data so that we can make sure that every single student is well known by at least one trusted adult in the building. And from that, we will then be able to further make sure our personal development programme is bespoke and actually meeting the needs of the students that we serve.